Hello, welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network and our new streaming network.com, home of Going Solo and Going Bold. Today we are on LinktoEXPERT Business Showcase. I have my good friend here, Joanne Weiland, with me. I am one of your hosts, Cece Shatz. I'm fondly called the Doyenne of Relationship Building, and I am with the Going Solo Network. So, Joanne, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you're the chief Connections Officer and the founder in the Collaboration Cloud Community Link to Expert, which is our sponsor today on the show. And we've got quite an exciting show, don't we, today? I'm excited.
We do. We love to bring you experts so that you can learn from them and, get to learn all their insights and, well, not all of them in one time at 40 minutes, but at least you learn a lot and you actually get to know if, you might need to hire them or work with them in some capacity. So we're really excited today because we have today Kat and Mike Montemurro. The Kat and Mike are just amazing. They're a team that work together. Actually, they're even husband and wife, but they are bringing us such good information on today's Business, Beauty, and Brilliance show. You will learn tips on how to feel great, how to look amazing. And when you're looking amazing and feeling great, you actually are so creative. And that's when the brilliance comes in, that you have new, unique ideas to bring to the world. So we're excited to learn from Kat and Mike today.
Yeah, I am really thrilled. Kat and Mike are one of our locals, we'd like to say. They have two offices which are located. I'd like to go ahead and share that with you guys before we start talking to them. They have one right here in Tampa, and it's at 1715 North West Shore Boulevard, Suite 100. And then they also have one at the Villages. So those of you that have heard about Florida, I know you've heard about the Villages. And so that's at 322 is it Held Way? It's Heald Way. So we want to make sure we get that right. So their facilities are both there. And if you are interested, we want you to definitely reach out and give them a call at 813-871-2929, or you can call them at 352-626-4334. Well, if we do that right. So I'm going to do it again. It's 352-626-4334. All right, so we got on with that. So we have Infinity Medical Institute. I am just super excited about bringing them forward. We're going to talk about business, beauty, and brilliance. Isn't that an awesome title? And they are awesome people. So let's bring them forward. Welcome to the show, Kat and Mike.
Thanks for having us. Great to see both of you beautiful ladies. Thank you so much for having us.
And Mike and Kat are amazing. The way Kat actually is a transformational coach, a fat loss expert, and the CEO of the Infinity Medical Institute that we're going to be talking about today with her husband, Mike. He's the founder and the visionary behind the Institute. And their really goal is to just help them help us actually do something to stay young looking and fit, just like people ask them consistently, how do you stay so young looking and fit? So we're going to learn some of their secrets today, and we appreciate you being willing to share them with us.
Absolutely. We're excited to get people feeling better out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about why you struck this path in your life and you decided to open up a business like this, a very successful business, by the way. But why you decided to help people in this way? Because you offer many services, and we can kind of touch on some of those. We're going to have not enough time to cover everything, and we hope that we'll be able to have you guys back on and talk about all the different things that you do. But why did you decide to go this path in this field and help people the way you're helping them?
We had a lot of friends that were struggling with mental health issues. They were struggling with pain, injuries, and they were all using pharmaceuticals that didn't seem to be really helping them. They couldn't break the threshold. They just got stuck in this rut. The depression wasn't changing. They were not happy with their lives. They started kind of just withdrawing. And Kat and I have always been, looking for very progressive ways to stay healthy. I was working with Dr. Hill at that time, back in 2009. And that's when we actually formed Infinity Medical and discovered that hormone therapies could change people's lives. That kind of transitioned into, once they were feeling amazing, they wanted to look amazing. So then we started finding options for them to actually improve their appearance. And we've, to this day, have probably saved hundreds, if not thousands, of marriages and changed lives repeatedly. And just that reward itself just keeps us driven to keep servicing the community and helping people find a new way and kind of leave the pharmaceutical drugs out and make themselves healthier and happier. And they can do it naturally through a lot of our services.
I love that. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking one of the subjects we'd want to hit on is about the replacement hormone therapy. I mean, I know since 2009, you guys, when you started this, and now you have over 50,000 treatments that you've administered. So I feel like that's really something people would like to know about. Would you mind sharing more about it?
Sure. So I would like to just emphasize on females. Perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. I know for myself, I'm 55. I started going through the transitions and the changes of life at 37. It was extremely unbearable for me. I find that very common in women between the ages 30 to probably 70 have had these issues if it hasn't been addressed prior. Myself, I was emotionally unstable. I was not able to I wasn't able to sleep. I had some personal issues going on. Us women, as we age, we start to deplete in estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, and things like that. So I'll have Mike elaborate a little bit, but for myself, personally, I went through the changes of menopause. It wasn't healthy for myself. Doctors put me on medications. Unfortunately, I wound up having an adverse reaction to those medications, and it's extremely common in our world today when they're not educated on the benefits of bioidentical hormone therapy. So I personally experienced it myself.
Yeah, I think one of the problems, we have a lot of patients come here and are on, they go to the doctor and they tell them, my sex drive isn't there, my marriage is struggling. They give them depression medication, or mood stabilizers, which is the furthest thing from, it actually sometimes cascades, and even causes more of an issue in those areas. The low energy, the loss of fog, that mental fog that women complain about, hot flashes, night sweats. And the doctors don't know how to address this because there's no traditional training for hormone replacement therapy unless they specialize in that field. So we've been very fortunate to be able to educate the community that there are options for these type of, without using synthetics, of course, too. These conditions can be debilitating for females and males alike. I mean, the life expectancy now is well into the 80s, where before it was in the 70s or in the 60s. And people want to live a quality of life, and there's no reason they can't now. So we're able to help people kind of restore their energy levels, put romance back into relationships, and get rid of all these nagging symptoms that they're living with when they don't have to, in a natural way. We're just matching exactly what your body used to produce on its own with 100% bioidentical hormone therapy, and we're just making up the difference and putting that balance back into people's lives, and their bodies are responding as if they were youthful again. So it's really kind of phenomenal to watch that transition.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know that, Mike and Kat, when I went over to your facility, right, and you had a little gathering and all of your office people were there. I mean, it's like a little family, right? You guys are little families, and it was really fun to be there. And you had some of your past clients, and I think current clients too were there. And so I met some of them, and that was really kind of fun. But I started talking with, and I wanted to share this today because I started talking with this gentleman, and he was telling me that he has been on your program for a while. It has changed his life. He said it totally changed him. He looked absolutely wonderful. I mean, his skin and his personality and, his weight and everything. He really felt, and I felt it, that he was like recharged, And so he had been telling me he'd been on your program for a while. He'd been doing it. He loves it. He'd highly recommend it. You know, and you just can't, I mean, I know you guys can share it with us, but when you see and talk to some of your clients that are going through this, that have experienced it, and they're on this big high because they finally found the relief in their life, you know, and they'll be able to really regenerate themselves. Yeah, I mean, I think it's terrific. And so I thought, man, we got to know more about this, and we need to really dissect some of the you know, different services that you're doing that are helping people, because you know, I heard it from several people that night, and I was really surprised. I thought this is really great, because you don't really hear that a lot when you go to facilities. You know, like, I know, Kat, you do some of the Botox and some of the things like that, you know. And when I first heard about you guys, I thought, well, you know, it's just a, you know, facility that's just kind of makes you look good. But then when I went to this, you know, this evening that you had, and visited your facility, which is outstanding. The one in Tampa is just absolutely beautiful. But when I met the people, and I met the people that, you know, you actually have as employees doing some of the work and things like that, I realized you're far more than just a facility that makes you look good. It's a facility that really changes your life and makes you feel good. So I wanted to share that with everybody. So to make sure that they understand, it's more than just, you know, getting a little, you know, make your face look a little good. It's far more than that. It's really getting down deep and change, like you said, the hormone replacement, changing your life, making you feel healthy and well, and living longer. Because, you know, we are living far longer, and many people are living into their late 80s, 90s, you know, and pushing it. So, yeah, so I wanted to be able to say that. So, Joanne, anything you'd like to add to that? Because I know you were with me that night too. And we were both of us got back in the car afterwards, and we go, wow, this is really, we're excited about this. So, yeah, go ahead, Joanne.
Well, the one woman I spoke to that described how she used to feel and how she used to look, and she just basically had no energy, and she was always achy and, in one word, miserable. And that's what really excited me. It wasn't like that. And now she feels vibrant and excited about life, and has done so many more things. And her face, of course, is glowing. And I just thought it was so cool, the transformation from one to the other. And I just wanted to learn more, like you said, about this. So I was also wondering too, like, can you target a specific condition, or is it just hormone replacement, and like, and everything changes in your body? So if you could maybe elaborate on that, Mike or Kat.
Yeah, so I'll have Mike elaborate a little bit, but for my own personal experience, you're absolutely correct. It's unfortunate today we deal, excuse me, with our own stresses, right?
Right.
And when you're in balance, unfortunately, it's difficult to deal with society itself, let alone the extra stresses. Like I had said, women decline in hormone therapy, and when it's not replaced, you're not getting repaired. You're continually, gradually doing a decrease. And it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy mentally, physically. The advantages that I encountered was stability. I was able to mentally have stability in my life, where I can do multitask. I can run 2 businesses. I have 2 girls going to college. I had a mother, unfortunately, passing with cancer at that time, and I have a handicapped brother that relies on me. So it was really important for me to step back, do an assessment, and the way we did that was through my labs, and obviously by my symptoms. So here in the office, we do have an MA, outstanding MA. You can't even feel the stick. And that's where we start. We have your labs drawn, and we do an assessment on where you're imbalanced. And then we go ahead and have follow-up here with our nurse practitioner. And she'll go over a treatment plan with you. And then therefore, we put you on a schedule where we have labs drawn 1 week prior to your treatment, and we keep it customized for our patients throughout the year. It's a very wonderful procedure, but for myself, I was able to reap the benefits of it by receiving the proper balanced hormone that we do here. And in regards to that, we have been extremely successful. Our patients do come in here. Yes, they are a family. We change their lives. They have their spark back in their life. I know from my husband and I, we just can't get enough of each other. It's very exciting. And unfortunately, at times when people get older, they just wind up coexisting, and it does hurt the marriage and the individual itself. So therefore, it does help, each individual, but it also helps your family members. And then, it gives you the drive to go out and service the community. That's why we do so much with all of these organizations. It's really important for them to be balanced. And for them, we've even had patients, unfortunately, come in here that were suicidal, post-traumatic stress disorder. They're on their medications, and then they unfortunately digress. So, we're here to balance out every single patient come in here to do an assessment. We go ahead and have a treatment plan for them. And there's so many benefits. Women don't even realize that they need testosterone. They think it's just for males. The rewarding thing is when you have an individual that's in a separate relationship. And once we are able to restore them back to health, then therefore their relationships become healthier. Their family members, are in a healthier environment, and you wind up succeeding in life.
Mm-hmm. It's not only husband and wife relationships, it's sibling relationships, it's relationships with the children. Because people don't understand when women are irritable and bitchy all the time because their hormones are off. They don't know. They can't explain what's going on. They're not thinking about the hormone therapy, especially for women. And it's not just hormones that we use to treat the body, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But we were talking about specific signaling cells. The hormones are messengers. They just tell the cells and activate what lipids and amino acids to produce. And so when your hormones decline, your cellular activity declines. When we restore the hormones to optimal level, the cells also regenerate and start to reactivate. So your body's running at a much more high efficiency. With hormone therapy for females especially, hot flashes, night sweats, vaginal dryness, those kind of conditions are usually resolved within the first week or 2 weeks of treatment.
Wow. Lack of sleep.
Yeah. So testosterone comes on a little bit maybe in the next couple of weeks, but I know that society today, we're used to instant gratification. This is something you get it with. It happens very quickly. So the uptake is very quickly once those receptors start to wake up and the body starts to respond. So it's really pretty amazing to watch, like Kat was saying, these transitions. By the time they come up on their follow-up with us, and we don't just do a service on someone and send you out to pasture, we're continually touching that person and staying in contact and bring them back in for follow-up labs even before the 3-month period to make sure that we've got it right and dial them in right. They didn't lose it overnight. We don't look to fix it overnight, but a lot of times we're able to because we have a protocol that's so successful. So it's important.
That's great to know.
And once we get someone where they need to be and we stabilize the hormones, we also have thousands of weight loss patients, and we do a national, we're national as far as we can service up to, I think it's 39 states right now. So if it's weight loss, it's still medical, but we do telehealth. So people can call in, we can set up with one of the practitioners or physicians, and they get their intake to us, and we're able to review them and look at everything, and we can ship all over the country. So we have weight loss patients all over the country. We have patients that fly in from Dubai. We have patients that come from all over the world to see us because we're right across from the airport. It's very easy. And I think that what we have is very unique with our protocols. We also have peptides. Peptide therapies are huge these days, and they are very specific amino acid chains that they dictate very specific cellular response, and everything from injury repair. And again, this is a whole natural way to go. If someone has, torn ligaments or they have a problem with their hips or, and they don't want to have surgery, we're usually able to correct that non-surgically. We're just using peptides or using stem cell therapies, which is called extracellular matrix now. But we do tons of that. That is legal now in the United States. Again, we all use all FDA approved and vetted products and labs. And remarkable that we've been able to keep people from having, knee replacements, hip replacements, shoulder replacements, just using stem cell therapy. We also have an IV lab here where we do IV labs for nutrition and hydration. If you don't want to get the flu, you come in to build your immune system. So we have a whole whole step process to treating the whole body. It just depends on what our patients want and what they're looking for. But we always have some. Hair loss is a big thing right now. We're using peptides and stem cells and exosomes to regenerate hair loss. And people are growing back their hair. Men and women. There's 30 million women with hair loss out there, not just men. And it's way worse for a female to get thinning hair. So, men, we're used to shaving our heads and doing whatever, but for a female, that's really traumatic for a female to lose her hair. So, again, we do, and now with this, weight loss craze going on and people losing 50, 60, 70 pounds, well, sometimes the hair follicles suffer through that process. So now we have an answer to help keep the hair, healthy or regenerate hair that may be thinning because they've lost so much weight. So we try to address everything and think of it, be one step ahead so that our patients aren't going to suffer a side effect to a benefit. So.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Now, how long on the some of these other procedures? Now, you were saying the hormone therapy, you usually do like a 3-month program, was it?
It's an annual program, but they come every 3 months for the most part. But that doesn't mean if someone is in their 10th week and they feel like they're a step behind, they're dragging, they just come in. We just bring them in, draw their labs, and we'll treat them early if their labs dictate that they have to be treated early.
Right.
And then,
That's great.
Yeah, and we get a lot of men, coming in, and it's funny. I'm watching younger men with low testosterone. It's definitely something environmental. I have young men in their 20s with testosterone levels like a 50-year-old, and and they're having erectile dysfunction issues. Now, I can tell you when I was that age, that wasn't even, I didn't even know what that word meant. These guys are struggling out there, these young men, and I feel horrible for them. But definitely we address a lot of that as well in a safe, protected environment, where they're not buying stuff out of a gym bag or trying something that could harm their body. But even the older men with erectile dysfunction, we use a pulse wave now. We use PRP. We have any kind of, oral pills that they can take. And we can correct just about probably 99.9% of all erectile dysfunction in men. We can correct it. So it just depends on what method and but we will get it fixed for them. Unless, of course, it's some diabetic situation where they just, have no function at all. And then, obviously there's penis pumps out there. I hope men know that there are pumps that you can have surgically implanted and you're good to go. So they should never, if a male wants to have a healthy marriage and intimacy in his life, he can certainly have that at any age.
Yeah, I think this is great information because, so often men, if we're talking about men themselves, so often they don't want to tell a lot of people, right? So they'll tend to buy things over the internet or whatever, and they're getting these drugs that, you don't even know what they are that they're taking. And I think the beauty of this is that you actually walk with them as they're doing it. So you do the blood work, you do the processing, you stay with them as they continue on, whether it's successful or not successful, you can then make a shift in your treatment, do whatever you need to do. And I think that's very important because we have not heard that before. That is not something that I think a lot of men know about. So it's important that they know that there is something out there for them. And I hear it, believe me, because I'm in the single world. So I have the divorce group and I have my singles group, and I hear it all the time that this is a big, huge issue, both for the men and the women. So this is nice to be able to know that there's, someone that they can turn to be able to talk to about these kind of situations, and that it doesn't matter where they live, right? Because we live in a beautiful state, Florida. They can fly in, do what they need to do, and fly back out again and do a little vacation. So, to boot. So there's no reason to stop them from coming if they need to physically be there, or like you said, you've got the telehealth where you can do it off site and in their location. So yeah, so we'll have to learn more and more about this as we continue on. But we're going to take a quick break. I want to thank you so much for joining us here today because it is amazing what we're learning. And what a great service that you guys do. So we are talking with Kat and Mike, and they're from the Infinity Medical Institute. You can reach them at info@infinitymedicalinstitute.com. Check out their website. All of their services are listed there. They are updating their website, so it's changing because they're changing, they're growing, they're adding new things. So check out their website. But if you are in doubt of any type of service, just email them at info@infinitymedicalinstitute.com. Check out their website, infinitymedicalinstitute.com, and all their information is there. You want to give them a quick call, ask questions. You can dial 813-871-2929 or 352-626-4334. They've got locations both here in the Tampa Bay area and then also in the villages. So that's their location. But as Mike was saying, they do, telehealth. So you can live anywhere and give them a call, find out what explain to them what you're going through, what you need, and they can help you with that a little bit more. So we're going to talk a little bit further with them when we come back. We're going to talk about business, beauty, and brilliance. And I am just so excited to be able to bring this to you today. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. That's our radio station, and newsstreamingnetwork.com, home of Going Solo and Going Bold. We're going to be right back with the Link to Expert Business Showcase with my good friend Joanne Weiland. We are co-hosts. I am Cece Shatz, and we'll be right back, everyone. Hang tight for 30 seconds. Welcome back. You guys are listening to newsstreamingnetwork.com, home of Going Solo and Going Bold. We are on the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network radio station. I want to thank you guys for listening to the first part of our show. If you missed it, you're going to have to listen to it because there is a wealth of information there you do not want to miss. You're listening to Link to Expert Business Showcase, one of our experts here today. I am your host, Cece Shatz. I'm just your co-host because I have my good friend here, Joanne Weiland, with me. Joanne Weiland is the Link to Expert, she is the Link to expert, right? I mean, let's face it, you have thousands of people in your LinktoEXPERT.com. So just go out and check it out, LinktoEXPERT.com, where all of the experts can, they come together and really, I think, help each other, in this collaborative cloud community that you have. And Joanne, I know that you're the founder of that. You're the Chief Connections Officer, and you're also the host here today on the show. So I want to thank you again for all that you do here, connecting our experts. We're talking about business, beauty, and brilliance with the Infinity Medical Institute. We talked a lot about the first part of the show, some of the services, and it's a wealth of services that they offer on 2 locations. And let's make sure before we start the show, you guys know how to get a hold of them. So they are located, their physical location is in Tampa. They've got one in Tampa at 1715 Northwest Shore Boulevard, Suite 100, Tampa Boulevard. And then they also have one at the Villages. And I know I say it wrong, but 322, is it Harold?
Yeah.
Yep, okay, whatever, but it's HEALD Way. And if you're from the Villages or in the Villages, you know where that road is, so not to worry. But of course, they do telehealth, so you guys can live anywhere and be able to get these services and arrange to have these services done with you. So don't hesitate. If you're living somewhere else and you hear something that you like, don't hesitate to reach out. Give them a quick call. Call them at 813-871-2929 or 352-626-4334. And of course, you can reach them at the info@infinitymedicalinstitute.com. Check out their website. It's forever changing because they add new services, they add new things. They really are coming together, helping not only our local community here in Florida, but also, nationwide. So it's infinitymedicalinstitute.com. So check it out. And let's move on back to our show. Joanne, you want to bring Kat and Mike back?
Yes, I have a question because today I feel like you're teaching us how to be healthier, wealthier, and happier because of the fact that I always think the better we feel, the more active we are. And I know that's part of how you help people with nutrition and supplements, as well as encouraging them to exercise. And I know you both are perfect examples of that, the way you look great and you feel great.
Thank you.
And I was wondering though, Mike or Kat, chronological age versus biological age, could you define or tell us how we measure those two so people understand that as well?
Yeah, and I mean, that's where we talk about internally, right? Because we obviously can get the body to respond a lot more youthful. But there is now a peptide out, NAD plus. There's SS31. These are mitochondrial, where they're actually going in and extending telomeres and reactivating cell regeneration in the body. It's actually reversing the aging process in the cells themselves. So people are responding extremely well to these type of peptides. And the hormones do the same thing. They slow down the aging process. I don't know if people know this, but from a cardiovascular standpoint, the heart has more testosterone receptors than any muscle in the body. So it actually reduces risk of death of heart attack by 50%. So strengthens the heart, cardiovascular system strengthens, increases muscle density by 17% without exercise. So, I get people all the time and they're like, oh, I'm losing my muscle mass, I'm losing. Just with the testosterone therapy alone, if they just do slight exercises, they'll see a body change in their body composition change. So, we're very excited about the opportunity of being able to. The stem cells are regenerative. So, you're getting billions of exosomes or hundreds of millions of stem cells in the body. You can do those through IV pushes. You can do that through IV. You can do that through injection, and they go in and activate your own stem cells to regenerate. It's funny, you're talking about chronological and biological age. When we're born, we're producing about 10 billion MSCs, which are mesenchymal stem cells, when we're infants. And by the time we hit 60 years old, we're only producing 400 in a 31-day period. Unbelievable, right? How the body, and that's the decline of the body in the process of aging. If we can restore any of that, or help keep some of that at bay, we're all going to live healthier and longer. And that's what the goal is here, that people have not just longevity, but we want them to have quality of life. And that's the goal, is to restore quality of life for our patients. So I think that's really critical. If you can do something to slow down the aging process, why wouldn't you do it?
Exactly. No, that's amazing, the vast difference. And that's why most people don't realize what's happening. They just say, oh, I'm getting older, I'm slowing down. They don't have to. And it makes
a lot of times our patients will come to us and say, oh, you're normal for your age. I want to live till 90. I want to be abnormal for my age in a good way, not a bad way.
So what he was referencing is, we go by lab levels, right? We do the evaluation. So statistically, yes, we deplete our hormones from the age of 30. And what he meant by that is if you were to see, your reference range would be very low. What we do when we replace you with hormone therapy, it brings you back to prime. Yes, unfortunately, we unfortunately are in a reference range of low T, low estrogen, so on and so forth, and that's why we have all these symptoms at our age. But what we do is we reverse it by putting hormone pellets back into. That's what we were discussing. I also wanted to emphasize a little bit on the benefits of what testosterone can do for sports and injury repair. We even have Dr. Linda Cox, who's a patient of ours, who has done a testimonial, and she even had a bone density done. She could not believe how well she did with that. We even have, for confidentiality reasons, we have local professional athletes that come to us for these conditions. So, it's just not a one-all fits all. It's definitely a customized therapy. But we're very blessed. We're very I'm very proud of our business. We've been here for 19 years. He and I are married. It will be married 25 years. It wasn't easy. I will tell you, the hormones absolutely restored our relationship and our health. And it's truly rewarding to see what we can do for individuals as well as couples in the community. It's a game changer, and I cannot tell you how. That's what we hear all the time. I had a lady come in here. She literally had an ice. What was it, like a lunch pail with ice packs? She was sitting at my desk, and unfortunately, it was interfering with her work. And she's at work, and she's constantly sweating, and unfortunately, that's low estrogen. As a result of it, she had night sweat, hot flashes. Obviously, sweats throughout the day. But for an example, it was interfering with her work. And she still comes in, and I say, "You still have that lunch pail?" She goes, "It's my lunch. It's not the ice packs." So, those are just little things I wanted to enlighten on. PRP is very good. We do that. Today's world, there's a lot of artificial fillers that are out there. We have a fantastic team here that has been extremely educated, and their skill set is really far superior than anything I've seen. Which is really important, especially when you're administering PRP back into the body. For cosmetic purposes, women will have it done in their face. They'll have it done in their arms, everywhere really, for aesthetics. But we also do it for internally for repair, for sports and injury repair, like Mike said, to avoid our patients going into surgery. I don't know what else.
Yeah, I think Kat was on a pathway to. We have very clean, there's different levels of Botox. Obviously Botox, we have Botox, but we also have another product that we use that is a very clean neurotoxin. So it doesn't have all the different branches on it. So some people like that. We have a more natural option for them. And I think what Kat was saying, some people don't want the big fillers or, the fillers in their face. They don't want to look unnatural. We now have, there's new PRP treatments that actually, called Salinas, that actually restores the collagen and builds the scalping up in the face, but still gives the volume that you would get with fillers, but in a very natural and smooth way. So you don't look like you have that, that distorted face. So we're really excited about some of those products as well. You were asking about reference ranges, or Kat was referencing reference ranges. And what we say about levels of prime is, we try to restore the levels of what you had back in your 20s. And we're able to do that for every single person. We like to say that we can't turn back the hands of time, but we can rewind the clock. So from a physiological standpoint, or from your lab work, you will look like you're in your 20s. Obviously, we can't make ourselves look like we're 20 again, but we can get the body to respond a lot younger. But it does tighten the skin. It does improve the muscle tone. It does improve the tendon and the bone. It regrows bone, like Kat was talking about. It's proven that testosterone therapy regrows bone. It reverses osteopenia and osteoporosis in very short periods of time. So on a DEX scan machine, dense bone density machine, we've seen people go from -2s to 0s in less than 2 or 3 years. So wow. It does regrow. So the osteopenia and it's not like Flomax or one of these other things that just put sheathing on the bone. It actually regrows the density of the bone. So it's pretty exciting what we're able to do. Lowers cholesterol, regulates blood sugar, regulates blood pressure. I mean, things people don't even know that these hormones do for us, because as we deplete, the aging process is slow. And then we hit our late 40s, 50s, we're like, man, I'm like a half a step behind. I don't know what's going on. And then, we get our hormone levels checked and we see we're tanked. And, that's kind of the answer for a lot of people.
Well, that's marvelous, because, I remember taking care of my dad, and the doctor said to us one time, every pill we give him is going to affect something else in his body, and usually not to a positive. So it's really great to hear that, maybe we could, do the hormones, balance our hormones, and not have to take all of this medication, that will eventually later on hurt our kidneys and all of these other things that will cause us problems in later years in life.
And what our patients, when we are able to wean them off the medications, depending on the medications, right. But what they are able to wean off, they save a fortune, and it helps pay for the therapies. A lot of people ask us, do we take insurance? Unfortunately, you're dealing with, big pharma, the FDA, and the insurance companies, and they sit on the sickness and disease sector because that's what they're treating. We're on the health and wellness. So we provide for people that can get reimbursement from their insurance, but we don't first party bill. And I think that's important for the listeners to know, if they're on a very strict budget or something. We work with everybody. We don't charge any finance fees. We self-finance everything for them. They can do monthly or quarterly, payments, whatever but we work with everybody in every budget to see if we can help people no matter what their financial situation is.
Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful that you do that. And again, that's the family atmosphere that you guys have. So you realize that there's a need out there. People do need it, and everybody's budget's different. So you're going to work with them on that. So that's very important. And that is probably the number one reason why a lot of people don't try different things, because they're worried about the, economics of it, the money of it. And so it's nice to get that out of the way. You don't have to worry about that. If you're in need of something like this, it's available to you. So that's wonderful. Well, gosh, we have talked a lot, but I know there's so much more that you guys could talk about and home in on each service that you provide, but we just don't have the time today on it. And I just love you guys. I think you're wonderful. You help a lot of people. And I didn't meet you. I didn't know you. And then when I did, it was amazing to hear some of your clients talk such glowing things about you and all that you've done for them and how they feel. And I can vouch for how they look, because they looked wonderful. And so you're definitely changing lives. So we want to thank you for that, because we love what you do, and it's just amazing. So we're going to have to close the show. Are there any parting words you'd like to share with us, Mike and Kat?
I just don't think you don't have to live in the way you are right now. If you're not happy with the way you look or the way you feel, or you feel something's wrong and you just can't put your finger on it, just give us a call. We'd be happy to speak to anybody, see if we can help you. And if we can't, we will refer you to somebody that may be able to. That's how much we care.
That's wonderful. So Joanne, are there anything last words you'd like to say?
Well, I think now we know what they do to stay looking great and feeling great. And I feel like all of us should do that, because when you do feel better, you actually are much more creative, and you really do become happier and healthier and wealthier, because the better you feel, the more creativity you have, and have so many more options for life. And so thank you for sharing.
Thank you. I love having the spark back in my life. I love the great energy. I exude with it, and I just want to deliver it to everyone. It's exciting. But give us a call. We also have free consultations. Give us a call. You can speak to us, the practitioner or the doctor. We are available. Very excited. We'll answer any questions that you have. If you have a preference speaking to a male or a female, those options are available too. So thank you.
Oh, that's terrific. So you guys can reach them at 813-871-2929 or 352-626-4334. Now, remember, if you hear this and you can't write it down, we have it in our show notes. So don't you worry. You can go right back to our show notes, and all the information is listed there. They do have 2 facilities here in the Florida area. One is at 1715 North West Shore Boulevard, Suite 100 in Tampa. And then the other one is at the Villages, 322 Harold Way in the Villages. So it's located there. You do not have to live here in Florida. You can give them a call, tell them, what your situation is, what's happening with you, and maybe they can do it so you don't have to be here. You can telemedical or whatever it's called, and you don't have to. You can do it over the phone or Zoom or all these wonderful different ways that we have to be able to get in contact. You want to check out their services. They have a listing there on their website, infinitymedicalinstitute.com. And if you guys like to email them at info@infinitymedicalinstitute.com. So there are numerous ways in which to get a hold of them. Many questions to ask. So just go ahead, feel free, ask away. And again, do not let money hold you back from changing your life, because they have a program, and they will make a program for you. So not to worry about that. So make sure that happens. So you guys are listening to WGSN WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is our radio station. We are on the newstreamingnetwork.com, home of Going Solo and Going Bold. I am one of your hosts here today. You can reach me at goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. I am Cece Shatz. And then I have my good friend Joanne Weiland. You can reach her at info@LinktoEXPERT.com. You're listening to the Link to Expert Business Showcase. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. What a fun topic today, talking with Kat and Mike from the Infinity Medical Institute. So we got to rush off now. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Just send a comment, email, any way you'd like. We'd love to hear from you. We want to thank you for listening to us, and we'll be back again. Bye for now.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, ladies. Thank you.